Hey guys, I'm Hellhound and welcome to my Midnight Spook Show. I was tagged once again in a video created by Sean Erschen, he had previously done a Michael Myers tag video, which I made a response to, answering all the questions. So check that out if you haven't already. But this time, we're going to talk about Jason. That's right, Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th series. Again, I was tagged by Sean Erschen. This was his video, so check that out. Check him out, subscribe to his channel. He's got an excellent show called The Horror Corner, talking about all kinds of great horror movies, and he does reviews and rankings and a lot of good stuff, as well as tag videos. So go ahead and check that out. Post a link to his channel in the comments. So yeah, he had a really good idea, some great questions. Let's go and get started. The Jason Voorhees tag, created by Sean Erschen. As you know, I'm a huge fan of the character and the franchise, so I am perfectly okay with this. But yeah, before you watch this one, definitely check out the Michael Myers tag. Also done by Sean Erschen, like I said. Come on, Jason, stand up. Jason's not going to stand up for me, guys, so I'm afraid he's going to have to... Yep, afraid he's not going to be able to be in the video, so... Oh well. This is the one from the final chapter, by the way. Yeah, hell yeah. Sorry, Jason, you can't be in the video because you're not going to stand up. Alright. Question number 1. If there were never any sequels to the original 1980 Friday the 13th film, do you think it still would have been considered a classic? Now, this means if it was a standalone, there weren't ever any sequels, much like My Bloody Valentine or The Burning, or The Prowler, or like one of those. Yeah, there's several horror movies in the, slasher movies in the 80s that never got a sequel. I don't think, now, if it had been a standalone, if the 1980 Friday the 13th film never became a franchise, only had that one movie, the original film, I don't think it would have been nearly as iconic or talked about. I still think it would have been a classic. It would have been considered a horror classic. I don't think it's as sophisticated or as well done as, say, Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I think it's still a very solid entry to the slasher genre and the horror genre as a whole. I think it's great. I think it's very well done. The original film is definitely the scariest, the most suspenseful, quite possibly the best acted as well and directed. You know, it's definitely got, you know, and some of the best scares and whatnot. It's the best atmosphere. You know, it was a little more, you know, about, it was a mystery, too. It was a whodunit. We didn't know who the killer was. It wasn't like, you know, Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, where right off the bat we knew who was doing the killing. And they didn't even play fair as to who the identity of the killer was. We didn't meet Mrs. Voorhees, you know, Pamela Voorhees, played excellently by Betsy Palmer, Jason's mother, until, like, the last reel of the film. So we had no idea. The only clue in the movie was when a trucker who picks up a hitchhiker at the beginning of the movie, he tells her that a boy drowned back in 1957, and that's the only thing we're given as to, that's the only clue we're given as to the identity of the killer. So nobody knew who the killer was going to be. So I kind of like that, though. But yeah, I still think it would have been a classic, but I don't think it would have been nearly as iconic or talked about or have as much of a following if it hadn't been a franchise and it had only been that one movie. So yeah, all right. Well, question number 2: what's your favorite Friday the 13th film? I would say that definitely had to be Friday the 13th, the final chapter, the 4th film in the series, from 1984. I think that one's just like the most definitive Friday the 13th film. I think it's like the quintessential Jason film. It's got some great kills, some great characters. I love the counselors in that one. Ted White was a great Jason. It's a great atmosphere. And of course, it introduced possibly Jason's greatest nemesis, Tommy Jarvis, played by Corey Feldman, who's just a kid in this one. So yeah, a lot of great elements in that movie. I saw it at the theater and I loved it. I loved watching it at the theater for the first time. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that one. I saw the first movie at the theater too, the original 1980 classic. I watched that at the theater too. But yeah, Final Chapter definitely been my favorite for those reasons. And I've reviewed that movie too, so check that out if you want. Alright, question 3. What's your least favorite Friday the 13th film? Now, most people would say Part 5, Part 8, or Jason Goes to Hell. I find all three of those to be very underrated, very enjoyable. Some of those highly entertaining entries in the series. Yeah, they're flawed, but they're great. Now, I would say the reboot from 2009. It wasn't one of the worst remakes I've seen. It wasn't, you know, wasn't that bad, but I feel like it should have just been another sequel. You know, it shouldn't have pretended the other ones didn't exist. It shouldn't have started all over. I understand they wanted to start off fresh. But I thought Freddy vs. Jason was really good. I thought that was the last entry in the series. Maybe if Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X had been the last ones, yeah, they should have started fresh, especially how Jason X ended. But Freddy vs. Jason took place before Jason X, and I wanted to follow up to that. I wanted to see maybe Jason versus Michael or Jason versus Leatherface or just a continuation of the original series. I didn't want a remake, so that's my least favorite. But if you're talking about just the original series, I'd say Jason X. And I'm actually getting a new appreciation for that movie. I used to hate it, but now I think it's really fun. It's stupid and it's silly. Jason in space in the future, and then he becomes a cyborg. It's very goofy, but it's awesome. It's hilarious. It's really fun. It's so bad it's good. It's a guilty pleasure. So yeah, either the reboot or Jason X. Though I still find them enjoyable in some level. All right, so yeah. Question 4. Who's your favorite final girl of this series? Now, that would definitely be Jenny, played by Amy Steele from Friday the 13th Part 2. I found her I liked her way more than Alice, played by Adrienne King from the first movie. It was interesting because she was really interested in who Jason was. She speculated about the mystery surrounding him and the urban legend about Jason from Camp Crystal Lake. She wondered about who he was. She wondered about him. She theorized. It was really interesting. And then, I think the way she outsmarted him in the end was really clever. She pretended to be his mom, put the sweater on. She pretended like she was Pamela. I think she was a very enjoyable character. I think she was a very good final girl. One of the best main characters in a horror film, I think. So, yeah, I'd definitely go with Ginny. All right, number 5. What is your favorite kill in the franchise? Oh, man, there's so many good ones to pick from. The garden shears in the eyes, Debbie Sue Voorhees in Part 5, the belt around the head, crushed head from the same movie, the sleeping bag, the girl in the sleeping bag being beat against a tree in Part 7, the axe in the face from Part 1, the fist through the chest and ripping the heart out from Part 6, the girl's face frozen and smashed on the counter from Jason X. There's so many good ones to pick from. The girl being cut in half and Jason Goes to Hell, the double impalement in Friday the 13th Part 2. This easily has the best kills of any horror franchise, I would say. But I guess I'm going to go with the spear coming through Kevin Bacon's neck from the first film, from the original 1980 classic. I love that. It's a really good special effect. It is really, it'd be a terrible way to die. So, yeah, it's really pretty disturbing and pretty, pretty grim, pretty grim way to go. And it's as I said, I really like the way it was done. Tom Savini did a great job with the effects in that movie. So yeah, the arrow and through Kevin Bacon's neck in Part 1 is probably my favorite kill. There are several other good ones to pick from. Lots of honorable mentions. Number 6, who's your favorite actor who played Jason? Now this is hard because I want to say Kane Hodder. He played him the most out of any other actor. He played him for 4 consecutive movies, Part 7, 8, 9, and 10. And he even gave some creative input to the character. He said, "Oh, Jason's going to kill him like this." He'd tell the makers of the movie what Jason was going to do. And he loved playing Jason. He fully embraced the character. A lot of the other actors who played him were ashamed of it. They tried to remove their name from the credits. They said, "Oh, I just did it for a paycheck." Kane Hodder embraced Jason. He even appeared as Jason in several public appearances. He made all kind of, he came, in the full makeup, the mask, and everything. In public, lots of times over the years. He loved the character. It's obviously there that he had a great respect and admiration, getting tongue-tied, for the character that he played. And that's very commendable and admirable. So, I want to say Kane Hodder, but I think I'm going to go with Ted White, again, from the final chapter. I like the way he played him. I think Kane Hodder might have been influenced by him. He was kind of the first Jason. Richard Brooker from Part 3, maybe, but I think Ted White was kind of the first one to play Jason's more kind of brutal and pissed off, kind of a hulking, unstoppable psychopath who just keeps coming no matter what you do. But yeah, Ted White, Kane Hodder, C.J. Graham, Richard Brooker, they're all up there. They're all great Jasons. So it's a close one, but I think I'll probably go with Ted White, with Kane Hodder at a very close second. In fact, sometimes I prefer him even more, because again, he embraced the character, whereas Ted White kind of disowned portraying him, so but yeah, either one of them, you can't go wrong. Kane Hodder's the man. I love him. He's awesome. Alright, question 7. Were you happy with the events of Part 5, A New Beginning, and what would you have done differently? Spoiler alert, this of course refers to the fact that Jason is not the killer in this movie. It's this guy named Roy Burns, whose son Joey was massacred at one of the inmates in this weird halfway house that's near Crystal Lake. Tommy also went there, this time played by John Shepard. He's all grown up and he goes there too. You know, and so, no, I'm not happy with how it was a twist and how it was a different killer other than Jason. I still love the movie. I think it's very underrated. It's one of the most entertaining. It has some of the best kills, some of the best gore, some of the best nudity in the entire series. It's very enjoyable to watch. It's one of my favorites. I think it's very underrated, again. But yeah, it does bug me that Jason's not the killer. I think Jason possessed him. I think he possessed Roy, because when Jason goes to hell, it's revealed that he has the ability to possess people, to jump from body to body. So obviously he's done it before. They had to have got that from somewhere. Creighton Duke knew about this, and when the hell did Jason ever do this, except for the only possible way would be part 5. And I also think he possessed Tommy at the very end, because Tommy wore the mask, and he was about to attack Pam at the end in the hospital room. So I think he possessed Tommy, and that's why Tommy was so eager to destroy his body in part 6, where he was played by Tom Matthews. That's my second favorite, by the way. Friday the 13th part 6, Jason Lives. But yeah, what would I have done differently? Have Jason as the killer. Plain and simply, it would have been more enjoyable. The end where Jason finally sees, well, Roy dressed as Jason, they kind of recognize each other. It's like, wow, that's the enemy from my past. Would have had much more of an impact if it was actually Jason and not some imposter. Plus, Roy really took a beating and he kept coming. That's what makes me think it was actually Jason inhabiting Roy's body. I don't care how far-fetched that sounds. It makes me enjoy the movie a lot more. But anyway, I do like the movie still. It's underrated. Alright, the final question, question number 8. Do you think the next film should be a remake of the 1980 film? Yeah, another remake. Or a sequel to the 2009 reboot? Or an all-new story? I definitely don't want another remake, and I don't really want a continuation of the 2009 film. I want a sequel to the original series. I want to see what happens after Freddy vs. Jason. I want them to return to the original continuity, have Tommy Jarvis come back, during the winter time, have a frozen crystal lake and snow on the ground. Maybe the way they defeat him is he gets trapped under the ice in the lake or something, stabbed with an icicle. I don't know. I want an all-new story. I'd also be okay with a prequel that goes into, like, details Jason's childhood. Pamela Voorhees as a young mother raising a deformed child. Maybe see what happened with Elias Voorhees, Jason's father, go into more detail his childhood, maybe leading up to the incident where he drowned, maybe reveal, did he really drown and was resurrected, did he not drown, is live in the woods as a hermit, was he alive, what happened, go into more backstory. A prequel would be great, but most of all, I want a sequel to the original continuity, ignoring the 2009 film. I don't want any more remakes. Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre both went back to the original continuity and ignored the remakes. Jason can too. Friday the 13th definitely should, because it's the best franchise out of all of them, I think. Some of the other ones have entries that ignore each other, they're incoherent, they're convoluted. The Friday the 13th series is more easy to follow and straightforward, and they'd be easy to make, too. It'd be really easy to make a Friday the 13th film, I think. So yeah, I'd love to see that. But anyway, well, that about wraps it up. I'm a huge Jason Voorhees fan. I love the Friday the 13th series. Check out my reviews of those movies for more info. Huge fan of Jason. I really enjoy doing this tag. Once again, yeah, check out Sean Erschen on YouTube. Go and subscribe. Check out his original video. He had some good answers to these questions. Great questions. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Hellhound. If you want to do a video response to this and answer these questions, go ahead, or leave your answers in the comments. Feel free. See you guys next time. Thank you for watching the Midnight Spook Show. Later.